Trade of the week is Grubhub. So I traded Grubhub, I bought 200 shares, and I also sold 2 covered calls on that position. The options prices were floating around $3.20. If you look at the value of that versus the price of Grubhub, that's roughly about 5% of the value of Grubhub. Now, I was expecting a move in Grubhub to be probably around 10% on the high side. If Grubhub went down 10%, me selling the call options would reduce my losses so that I would only lose 5% of the value of my trade. Now, if Grubhub went up 5%, I would still make the money of Grubhub actually going up 5% of my underlying security, but I'd also make money in the fact that I sold covered call options that are essentially worthless at this point in time. Also, if Grubhub actually completely blew out earnings and Grubhub itself went up a full 10%, I still make the same amount of money, make about 10%, based on the position of where I sold my call options.
I just want all of the money.
One of the main reasons I bought Grubhub is look at this chart right here. It's gotten pretty beat up. I think it's not the worst time to try to get in. I kind of wish I got in earlier this week. I feel like I missed out a little bit. I think we're gonna see some downside selling today, but that's okay. I sold some calls to protect at least $3.30 a share worth of downside losses here.
Overall, this allows you to reduce your losses when you're wrong, but also set realistic exit points when you are right. So you're not really guessing too much under the gun when you are trading live. So let's talk about the news of Grubhub. The news was actually fairly disappointing. Earnings had actually declined pretty significantly year over year, but at the same time, revenue and sales were up actually quite a bit year over year. So if sales are up, but profits are down, that's okay, as long as there's growth within the business and the potential to really capture more market share. That's what's crucial for most tech companies. On Friday, I ended up selling the stock. I had covered call options on the stock, so I ended up selling those off first. I sold those off at a slight loss because those options contracts were technically in the money. And then within a few minutes later, I ended up selling the stock. The stock was around $75 a share at the point when I sold them. Made quite a bit of a profit on the trade. Was really happy about all that. And yeah, on to the next.
I'll buy it back if it hits that price. Wow, it did. Let's go back here. Cool.
Let's talk about Tesla. So last week, Elon Musk's legendary stock that we hear about in the news and in Twitter every day announced earnings. I also jumped on the Elon Musk bandwagon over here. So I bought 100 shares of Tesla stock, but I also sold a covered call option against it to give me a little bit of downside protection.
The big earning of the week, I believe, is Tesla. I wanted to show you guys something. Let's look at the chart of Tesla together. So, as you guys can see, Tesla's at 264. It was as high as 370 a few months back. So, I think it's near the bottom of where it is. However, if earnings come out bad or if something comes out bad, the price could fall. And you know what? These options are priced very well. I'm not going to do what I did with Netflix, which was bet both ways on the options. I'm only going to bet one way with Tesla, and that is up.
S&P 500 is a group. Communication services, technology, and healthcare all.
So I just bought 100 shares of Tesla right now. So I'm going to go ahead and sell one covered call.
Tesla earnings were a total fiasco. There were low expectations going into earnings, but earnings came out as bad as it really could get. More than $1 billion less in revenue than anticipated. They missed delivery expectations by 47% So I mean, the numbers were just god awful, and honestly, the stock did not like do that bad during after hours trading. It actually held its ground pretty well, you know, just because Tesla has a huge fan base, but overall, the whole thing was a total disaster, and I got out of the stock as soon as I could.
I know it says minus 1,000, but that's about how much I will be making from the options that I sold. Despite the horrible news, the market does not seem to want to, I don't know, I guess people just love Elon Musk.
So, despite everything and the trade not working out for me, I lost several $100s on the trade, which honestly isn't too bad because I quite frankly thought the news should have sent Tesla stock down a whole lot lower. If this was any other stock with any other reputation, with any other leader that wasn't Elon Musk, this stock would have dropped 10, 15, 20% same day. But because of Elon Musk and everyone's expectations of this guy being like, you know, like some sort of demigod, the stock actually held its own ground, and overall it kept my losses down to an absolute minimum. Between the stock and the covered call option, I felt like I didn't really lose that much for an opportunity to gain quite a bit.